What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Game of Thrones card game, 2nd edition tournament video. We are still in round 5 of the Massacre at Hardhome, the fan-run event by Brad Iyer, held in Cleveland, Ohio. On the left we have Shafeen, on the right we have Chris Thompson playing Martell Fealty, and Shafeen's playing Baratheon Fealty.
Alright. Yeah, that doesn't seem great.
I think we've seen both of these players so far in the tournament series here. You can check out the previous videos, as always, in a playlist on the channel. There's also a live stream to go along with this. If you don't find enough single matches there, you can go watch that 10-hour-long live stream there to see some of the other matches from each round and the top cut and the finals, of course. But we do have King Stannis set up on one side, not afraid of the March to the Wall, I guess. Or it's just a pretty crappy start. But it is a 7-1-0 setup, 3 cards, 8 gold. Just not the 1 gold card you want to see besides Stannis there, which is Spears of the Merlin King, and the other one is the Stone Drum, I believe. And on the other side we have the Green Blood, or sorry, what is it? The Orphan of the Green Blood, with Bestow, but doesn't come into play there, so doesn't get any Bestow. A Bastard Daughter, Iron Throne, and a Dornish Fiefdoms to start, and of course March to the Wall into trading. So March to the Wall is going to say bye-bye, King Stannis, and 3 gold for his opponent off of trading with the Batoshi.
You can take your 3. Super.
So it's going to be an uphill battle here for Shafeen, having no characters in play here to start, which is probably why he flipped his 10 gold plot to recover from the March to the Wall by his opponent. And of course, March to the Wall being 8 initiative. The Martell player wins, chooses his opponent to go first so he can get his Dornish Fiefdoms 2 gold, of course. And of course he's going to wait for his opponent to do his first action, and then he's going to gain 2 gold. So the Stone Drum, I had to look it up here. While there is a Kingdom plot card revealed, which, trading with Batoshi, is increase the gold value on your revealed plot card by 1. So he's actually getting 11 gold to work with here. And of course he couldn't use that Spears of the Merlin King for that March to the Wall. It's only when a character's killed, I believe, so there wasn't no way of returning Stannis back to hand. So 1 copy of Stannis is in the discard pile for the rest of the game here. Looks like he's holding on to another copy of Stannis in hand.
Okay.
He's got Fealty that he can help produce too. So he should be able to get a decent board out here. Effectively 12 economy, and he hasn't played the limited yet either.
It varies from moment to moment for me usually.
So it might not be over for him. And also his opponent, you know, has 6 gold to work with. Might not be able to marshal too much. So we get 6 cost Davos, who gets a dupe put on him, so that's good to see. And of course, Dornish Fiefdoms triggered as the next action to gain 2 gold for the Martell player, Chris.
You know what? Do we want to do
I really like that new Sir Davos. He's pretty cool. He's got the Night Lord Smuggler trait. I like that he's loyal, so he works great in Baratheon Fealty, helped reduce his cost down to 5. Using Fealty if needed, but he's at that sweet 6 cost spot, so he's great for great hauls. Great for great hauls. Yeah, okay. Anyways, you can reduce them with great hauls, especially when you get multiple out. It's nice to get him out for dirt cheap. And he does have stealth, just like his other version. Of course, he doesn't go back to hand when he's killed. Instead, he's got the reaction after he bypasses a non-loyal character. Using stealth, you either draw a card or gain a gold, which is a very nice ability. It's like a little great Kraken style reaction built into a character, which is great. And we got Chamber of the Painted Table to start, and Edric Storm out there. So the Dominus tech is already starting to show its ugly head, but there's an Iron Throne across the board, and that's going to be trouble for the Baratheon player. I should have mentioned that starting off on an Iron Throne against the Baratheon Dominus deck is always where you want to be. So I take it back. It is a huge uphill battle here for Shafeen, who probably doesn't have a way to deal with that Iron Throne across the board other than getting his own Iron Throne into play, or hoping his other Dominance tech, like you know, Fiery Follower standing, will help him there, and maybe saving some gold. But he's only saved 1 gold this time. We got a Blood Orange Grove Altar Art put on the board on the Martell side there for economy, if you're not sure what that card is. Another fan-made alt art. Also like the Iron Throne we see out there. So just so you guys know, it's a fan-run tournament. They're playing lots of fan-made alt arts. So I apologize now. I'll try to figure out what they are, let you guys know.
That's Tom Malucci. He signs everything threatening to cut people.
So we got a Gaston Grey out there.
He's a madman.
So still no characters. So the Gaston Grey was paid for with Blood Orange Grove and a gold.
He's like the artist for that or something?
No.
Oh, actually, Fealty. Sorry, Fealty and the Blood Orange Grove. Paid for it. It's loyal. And the Martell Fealty deck. So both have Fealties. Both probably playing pretty decent amount of loyal cards. And we got an alt-art Ariane Martell. And we all know Ariane Martell. She was in the last video. Does that whole jumping back to hand, bringing characters into play from the core set. She could be a problem. And Marcella Baratheon, who we also saw in the last video. Lots of videos from this tournament are posted already. So, like I said, we're in the 5th round. Two matches from every round, and that live streaming. Go watch tons of Thrones content with the latest chapter pack here before Gen Con. I know lots of you probably watching these, prepping for Gen Con, trying to get a lay of the land, see the meta, what's going on. Pro tip, Tyrell Reigns seems to be the hotness right now. And Laney Reigns is in there too. So Reigns in general, hot agenda. And even with Greyjoy, seeing it, I'm also running it at this tournament actually. But seeing a lot of it online. Seems to be a very popular agenda right now. But both these guys say they don't care, they're running Fealty decks. Alright, so we got a card draw here off of Davos coming in Stealth and the Bastard Daughter. Only military icon, of course. Stealthing and getting an unopposed military challenge, I assume. Are we going to see Gaston Grey popping and sending Davos back to hand? Yep, of course. Of course. Davos loses a dupe, goes back to hand.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that was a good idea of Shafeen to go in and attack like that. But unless he's playing another high gold plot next and he's just looking to draw cards, dig into his answers, I don't know. But Bastard Daughter is going to pop and grab a card from hand, I assume.
Trigger. This one.
And in the name of the king is gone.
That is a card.
So 1-0 for the Baratheon player right now. At least he burned one Gaston Grey is gone. So March going to work, sending a 7-cost to this card pile, and Gaston Grey, 2-cost cards, going to work, sending a 6-cost and a dupe off the board. So lots of efficient card play here by Chris. And Shafeen's aggressive challenge there, coming to bite him back from the Martells, of course. And looks like an unopposed intrigue, grabbing a Fiery Followers.
I will use Ariane's text.
So Ariane's going to get a trigger to bring a House Stain Knight into play. House Stain Knight's going to do a military challenge. Try to either kill Edric Storm or send him back to hand with the Spears of the Merlin King. And that's not exactly who you want to be using Spears of the Merlin King on.
Alright, no tricks.
And Edric Storm's just going to die. Cool. Spears is reserved for kings and lords, is I guess the feeling there. And a power challenge with Marcella, who gets renown, of course, since there's no king or character in general across the board from her right now. And very quickly, the Martell player is up to 6 power to 0. That is insane.
Truth.
I would have just played defensively there with that Gaston Grey being on the board. Try to defend the military challenge. I mean, you know Ariane's there. You know she's bringing in a military icon into play, especially early in the game when the Martell player has a big fat hand. You just don't want to play too aggressive. I think Shafeen should have played more defensively with Sir Davos there and just use him to block a mill. So now we have Counting Coppers on the Baratheon side, played it into the long plan. So when you see the long plan flipped, you got to think that Martell player is going to play a lower gold plot next, usually a Valor or like a Counting Coppers, maybe a First Snow of Winter. And you got to watch for how much gold they're trying to save going into the next play. If they don't really play anything out, they're probably saving that gold for a nice Valor. If they're playing out a big cost guy right now, 4 costs or higher, they're looking to probably first snow you. And there's a 5-coster Ariane, and she could go either way. That's the beauty of Ariane. You put her into play, doesn't mean you're setting up for first snow. You could still be setting up for Valor, just getting her out of the way of Valor and putting something less meaningful into play. that can also work for you in the challenge phases here, and then just die next turn, like a House Day Knight, for example. So let's see what Shafeen can do. He plays a very low gold plot here, counting coppers. I don't think cards is what he needed, but he is looking for answers, I guess. And he's just, or maybe just, I don't know. He only had 5 cards, I guess, after the last round if he did discard for taxation. So maybe he did have a pretty low hand. But he does play a Dragonstone Faithful to get some economy there. And looks like he's going to play Shireen Baratheon. Make his opponent not do military first here. But he is stretching to get some characters on the board here. Just putting the weenies out. Not really going to stop much that Chris wants to do, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't... Problem is these Baratheon decks. Are they running Valor Morghulis now? And if they are, that's probably what should have been flipped there. So I'm going to say Shafeen's not running Valor, and I don't think that's the right call. I know in Barry you don't want to kill your big guys, blah, blah, blah. You don't have many saves, but man, sometimes you just get wrecked and you're falling behind and you just need to destroy your opponent's board from, you know, snowballing over you, and that's what Valor's for. Maybe he's just playing Wildfire, though. Wildfire's a decent option, but yeah, it doesn't help you in these situations. With Varys running around and Martell playing the game of just wiping your board. You know, Khal Drogo just to claim military until you have nothing left on the board. Like, Valor is sometimes the only way out of that. So power challenge from Shireen there. Just Masella just laughs, blocks it, gets a power. Chris sitting on 1 gold, saved. Could be saved for the next round. Could be used on event here. If he loses his challenges, he can trigger the long plan to get more gold to carry into the next round.
I'm doing intrigue.
But he's just going to win challenges here. Doing an intrigue challenge. Going to go unopposed, of course. Shafeen looking at his hand. I don't know what he has to stop that. Maybe he's just ordering his hand a certain way there. Yeah, looks like he's ordering his hand a certain way. To try to get his opponent to grab something different. But he's going to play Tears. And on Shireen, who's going to die at the end of the phase, so her kneel doesn't really matter too much. And Sir Davos, that went back to hand, is now in the discard pile. Both copies.
He's having a hard
Does he have another one?
time.
Yeah.
And I'll pass.
We see Chris is sitting on a Viper's Eyes in hand. So if a power challenge does come in here unopposed, Shafeen's going to lose another card from hand, and Chris is going to have full hand knowledge of what Shafeen's holding in hand there. But at least he would draw from inside, I guess, after that. And there'd be 1 unknown card in hand.
5.
So I also got to think about dominance. Both have no gold remaining at this point. But you could give Chris a gold by doing a military or a power challenge there unopposed. Does give the Martell player gold to carry into the next round. And that might be a mistake. So Ariane's going to go away.
Yep.
And we have Sir Eris Oakhart jumping into play and just fully blocking.
Yep.
So he doesn't even want to get the gold. Just wants to get Ariane out of harm's way.
Forced on Moonboy. This one.
And yeah, since Moonboy loses the challenge, you got to be punished and lose a card out of hand. So Shafeen just walking into tons of punishment here. That's the story of this game. Baratheon player just not even being too aggressive, but just getting punished by this Martell Fealty deck and Chris here. It's really a thing of beauty. It's what I used to love from Martell from the first edition was they're just like win to lose cards, you know, really punishing an aggressive opponent. So Shireen's dead from Tears. Dom goes to the Martell player, and he is at, looks like 9 power to 0. Well in control of the game. So Shafeen has, looks like 6 cards, 7 cards in hand there maybe. Doesn't have to discard any, has 10 card reserve. But he needs to play a decent economy plot here next to try to recover. Will continue his recovery, I guess. And get someone decent out on the board. He's got Renly in hand, he's got King Stannis. He's got Edric Storm, who's dead. Looks like he's got 2 Renly Baratheons. So at least he can get him out there with a dupe. He's got 3 icons, which is nice. Can help him maybe weather the storm here a bit.
Yep. There's the riddle.
And he's gonna play close call.
I'll let you be first player.
Yep, you don't have anyone dead now, I guess.
Yep. I got a bastard daughter.
Nice.
So looks like Varys' riddle is gonna trigger a close call. So they're both gonna each get to draw a card. And Chris is gonna move. I guess a bastard daughter. I heard him say there is all he has in his dead pile. So she's gonna get moved to the discard. And Dornish Fiefdom's getting the 2 gold there since Martell player is going second. And he's going second at the choice of the Baratheon player because the Baratheon player having less power there. I believe they tied on initiative, so he chose to go first. I'm not sure if that was a smart move.
No dice on the drum. Rough.
Oh, we see he's got Melisandre now in hand. The Dominance Melisandre, big 7-cost beast. And he's going to play Shafeen. But is she not dead from tears? Oh, Spears of the Merlin King sent Shafeen back to hand. Sorry, I missed that, but it is not in play anymore, so you must use it to send Shafeen back to hand to save her from Tears of Lys. So Blood Orange Grove played on the other side. Over to Martell play for marshalling. It's going to use both the Blood Orange Groves. And of course, Ariane just seeing lots of play here, doing lots of work each round. Getting her challenge off and letting you play another character. And Orphan the Greenblood gets a bestow of 1. So who are we going to see sent back to hand? Ariane in a pinch. Eris Oakheart to be bounced back into play with Ariane in the same challenge phase. That can be pretty gross. He doesn't have enough gold to use Sarah Eris Oakheart's ability. I think you have to spend 2 gold to discard an ally. I think the only ally across the board is a Dragonstone Faithful. Which does not seem too impactful to me right here. Weenies for days. This Martell Fealty deck's running First Snow of Winter. He's got 3 characters that will stay in play, and his opponent has 0. So I think if that's a plot in his plot deck, I'll put money on it that that is the one that comes out next round if the game doesn't end here in this round. So Shafeen's got to think of... oh, he's not doing any challenges. He just passed his challenges. He's going to play defensively, so it looks like Intrigue challenge here with Marcella Baratheon, 3 strength. Fiery followers, blocks with 2. Loses a copy of Renly on the Intrigue claim. And Marcella gets renowned, since there's no king across the board. Or queen, I think. King or queen. Power challenge here from Ariane Martell. And Shafeen Baratheon will block the unopposed. There's no claim to steal, nothing on the Baratheon house card. And we got a military challenge here with the House Dane Knight. Which should go unopposed. Which it does. And claim is Shafeen kneeling Sir Eris Oakheart.
That's it.
And dominance to the Martell player. And he's going to play Secret Schemes to kneel his house card and draw... I think 2 cards. I think it's the amount of cards in the used plot pile. So he's got 2, I think, in there. So he's going to draw 2 cards there. Looks like he got, I think, a copy of Gaston Grey and a Greenblood Trader is what I think was pulled there. Or maybe it was the Palace Spearman he's holding there.
Bring yours back. 6, 7 in reserve.
What are you at right now?
I am at 3, 6.
So 12 power they just counted there on the Martell side. 0 on the Baratheon side. We have retaliation to another close call. So 2 close calls here in the Baratheon player's deck.
Sure.
And he's drawing a card. Of course, he has to go first. I don't know who he moved from his discard pile. We can't see it on camera here. But we might know based on who he plays. If he plays one of the characters we see that has been killed, then we know that's who he moved. So we see he's finally got his Iron Throne in hand there. Plays a Dragonstone Port. And right after he does that, the Dornish Fiefdom is triggered there to get 2 gold, of course, on the Martell side. See, he's got Melisandre with a dupe that he could possibly put into play. I don't know what, like, there's not, like, the characters on the Martell side is what I'm trying to say aren't of the highest quality, but you have Arion that is basically counts as another character could be put into play, so you got to watch out for that. So, like, a pretty big board on Chris's side. So even if he does marshal one big character here, it might not be enough. It is going to be Melisandre with a duplicate, but I mean, still no dominance win, but I think a 2 gold should be used for the Iron Throne. Which it is. So now Chris has to try to keep dominance in his mind. Oh, and Chris hasn't marshaled yet either. Duh. Which I should have realized.
Someone doesn't have this.
Right.
But yeah, having the Iron Throne on both sides now, it's going to make it a little tighter, but Chris being, I think, 3 power away from winning right now is could be a little too much. So we got the Green Blood Trader going in there, obviously letting him see 2 cards. Going to put one in his hand, put the other one on the bottom of the deck. So we get another Dornish Fiefdoms, which pays for itself. And we got Eris Oakheart put back into play, paid for this time. And he's going to spend the 2 gold to get rid of that ally that we just talked about. Last round, the Dragonstone Faithful. So just helping him maybe get through some more unopposed challenges here, having to deal with less challenges coming at him. So quite the board. Looks like Chris is going all in here, just trying to go for the win. He does have that Palace Spearman in hand, so he could bomb it in with Arion. So he's three claim away from winning, or 3 power away from winning. So Shafeen's going first. So I think he can't really attack, because every character he kneels is another chance for an unopposed power. And he needs to let it go to dominance and hopefully win dominance with that Fiery Followers maybe, and then he can steal a power with the Chamber of the Painted Table and maybe last another couple rounds, but we'll see. Oh, he does have Renown in Macella. So he's going to go in for a power challenge, trying to get 2 power at least. Oh, 2 claim. 2 claim, 2 claim, 2 claim. Sorry, retaliation. So he's going to steal 2 power and get a Renown if this power challenge isn't stuffed.
I don't have claim to give you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Nothing to claim from the 2 claim. Man, I'm being a dummy here. Yeah, he can't even get any power for claim anyway. But we got a military challenge coming in here. So he only gets 1 for the Renown. None for unopposed. So a military challenge gets blocked. No unopposed. Arion's going to be used. Hota pushes the Fiery Followers out of the challenge to help get an unopposed. So he gets a power there. So I think he's 1 away now.
1 claim. 2 claim, actually.
Oh, claim 2. Here we go. Now, see, he's got to think that kills that Fiery Followers. That could be the dominance.
Your 3rd challenge, right?
No, I have intrigue left.
Still has an intrigue challenge, which right now will go unopposed.
Okay.
I think it's over here. I think it's done. He's got no way out of it.
Then I think you get this game.
And that's it. Yeah, Shafeen realizes he concedes. Congrats to Chris on the win there. Thanks, guys, for playing on camera, of course. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, all the awesome people scrolling by on the screen right now, for donating on Patreon.com and supporting this channel and supporting these videos. I appreciate it very, very much. If you guys want to donate, click the link in the description below. Much appreciated. But if you are new here and you haven't, click that subscribe button, hit the like button, make sure you hit the alarm notification button to be notified when videos go up and when we go live. But yeah, leave comments below, share the videos. Thank you to Brad Iyer for hosting the tournament. And that's it for the Swiss. We have the cut games coming up next, so the elimination rounds coming up on the channel. So we got a couple from the top 8 and the top 4 coming up, so stay tuned for that. And as always, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next video.